You have the power to heal yourself, and I want you to know that. And you might say, how can I know that, right? How can I know if your problem actually is able to be healed? But the tricky thing about healing is that if you believe that you can't heal yourself, you make it come true. It's in the belief that it is possible that you remove the shackles that have been limiting you. It always starts with belief, because your identity is what blocks you off of new possibilities. So the first thing that you need to get right if you want to change is to see that it is possible to change. That what you believed was the fact wasn't a fact at all, but just your own delusion trying to keep you stuck in your comfort zone. So in this video I want to talk about how you can actually heal yourself in any situation. The moment you believe in your limitations, you place a shackle on your neck. The moment you don't believe that you can change, then you make it impossible to change. Believing is what is necessary to open up the doors for transformation. And it's just logical. It sounds very esoteric and mystical, but it's just a matter of fact. From a pure cause and effect perspective, you take an action and then there's a consequence. If you don't believe that the consequence is achievable, then you're not going to take the action. And what usually happens is that there's an action that you want to take. For example, you want to lose weight or just live healthier. If you think about what is necessary to make this happen, for example, you want to work out every morning for the next 6 months. The moment you do this like 2 or 3 days, and then on day 4, you notice how difficult it actually is, you'll have your doubts creep in. And these doubts will say, I can't do this. This is too much. It's too difficult. And it's the resistance that tells us it's too difficult to actually do that makes you not do it. And it is also what makes it so difficult, because actually a lot of work can be fun and it can be engaging and vitalizing the moment you go through the hard slumps. But if you already project into the future how difficult it is going to be before you've actually done the work, well, then you're going to block yourself off before you actually achieve the things that will give you a momentum forward. The trick here is to notice whenever your body tries to push you towards pleasure. Pleasure is really the tricky thing of our modern new age society because pleasure is so easily accessible. It doesn't matter where you are in the outside world, I mean, except if there's no internet, but you have always instant access to pornography, to endless amount of entertainment. Like, you really need to get how crazy it is and what time we're living in and how difficult it is what society is asking of you to do. Because on one hand, we are supposed to be healthy and live good lives, and then on the other hand, we have literally every possible roadblock in our way so that we don't accomplish that. So to acknowledge how difficult it can be is reasonable. It's not that it's not reasonable. So what I found is that one of the most important, if not the most important aspect, is awareness. If you want to change, there's no way around of looking at whatever is uncomfortable in your experience. And usually what is uncomfortable is this desire for something pleasurable. It's an emotion we're feeling that we don't want to feel, and therefore we automatically move towards hedonism. The solutions to your problems will never be found if hedonism is the automatic reaction. Because even the simplest things won't be solved if pleasure distracts you. And it can be the stupidest thing ever. Like, there's not enough salt on your food, so the food tastes disgusting and bland. So now you need to get up and take some salt and put it on your food. But if you're very comfortable in your chair, then you're not going to get up because it's just too comfortable, and then you eat the shitty food. Weird ass example, I know. Who would do that, right? Super weird. But this feeling of laziness is actually not laziness at all, because you're motivated to do a ton of stuff, right? You're able to do a ton of stuff that factually it doesn't serve you. If you grind on a video game, it does take a lot of work. Even if you are a smoker and you smoke a ton of tobacco every day, like rolling the pape, going outside, smoking the cigarette, it gets exhausting, doesn't it? Like, it's actually exhausting. The things that we think are pleasurable to us, we are attached to, they tire us out. And if you become aware of your actual experience, what you start to notice is that you actually don't want to be in this hedonistic treadmill. You actually don't want to be attached to all of these pleasurable sensations all the time. And when you see that clearly, then the conflict doesn't become, oh, I need to stop this at all costs. The conflict becomes, why am I still doing this if it doesn't feel so nice anymore? And the silence reveals this deeper and deeper. So the more you are in a space of silence, the more obvious it becomes what is unpleasant about your experience and what is actually not a solution. And the moment you get away from all of these wannabe solutions that actually just help you short term, then what it opens you up is to actually find the solutions to your problem that will solve it for you permanently. Because now the mind doesn't go towards the short-term reaction anymore and actually contemplates, okay, I am in the space is not going to go away, not just by doing nothing. So what is something that I could actually do to fix it? And likely what you'll experience then is there's no way I'll find how to fix it. And to reiterate, I'm talking about literally anything. It could be depression, anxiety, your ambitions, a dream that you're having that you're not fulfilling, or a relationship that is breaking apart. This applies to everything. So the moment you are confronted with this idea, I actually don't know if it's possible for me to change. I don't actually know if it's possible for me to find a solution to this problem. This is the silence that you need to sit in. This is the space you need to sit in. Because this is where like 90% of the problem actually lies. Imagine what humanity has accomplished in the time that it has existed as. Do you think you could have imagined agriculture, architecture, the sewer system, phones, the internet? All of these are solutions to problems that humanity has faced that in no shape or form you could have imagined to be possible. Personally, I also thought that I'd be depressed for my entire life and I'll never ever find a solution to my existential fear, my existential angst. There's no way that I'll find something outside of nihilism that will give me a peaceful satisfaction in my life, because I was certain that life is supposed to be awful. And by believing that, I make it true, because I'm not looking for alternatives. Looking for alternatives also is painful, because going outside of what is comfortable often means leaving behind things that were actually painful to go towards things that are more comfortable. And then being in a more comfortable space becomes painful because it's not what you're used to do. It is very paradoxical. It is very conflictive. So we can even prefer pain because it's the pain that we know instead of, the experience that we haven't yet experienced. The reason why I know that there's literally no problem that has like no solution is because on a very existential or fundamental level, the problem is always a problem of perception. And it might sound very flaky, right? Because if you have cancer and you're going to die of cancer, and then I come along and tell you, it's just a problem of perception, man. Your cancer doesn't matter. Doesn't sound so good, does it? So what do I mean when I say it's all just a problem of perception? Well, I mean, there's like a clear physical problem if you have cancer, right? You need to actually go through a process to maybe cure it, and we are developing more physical and materialistic ways to actually do that, which is amazing, and doing anything possible to make these solutions more apt is, of course, worth for humanity, which the fact that we even have some solutions is quite amazing, by the way. But on a spiritual and individual level, the problem with cancer is just really the amount of suffering or resistance you have towards it. If you have a very holistic understanding of what reality is, and what life is, and what death is, and what transformation is, you can have cancer and be quite happy about it. And that's not from experience, right? Or not from my own experience, but that's from the people I've talked to and witnesses that I've seen. Cancer doesn't mean that you have a horrible death. It is your relationship to the thing. And I'm using such an extreme example because it reveals the relationship that we can change towards anything. If somebody can have cancer and be the happiest they've ever been, and somebody can win in the lottery and become super depressed and drug addicted, the problem is not really anything external, right? It's just the internal relationship that we draw to these things. And this is the reason why there's literally no problem that doesn't have a solution. Maybe it's not the solution that you wish it was. Maybe you think that the solution has to be one particular way, but then this is the limiting belief, right? This is the thing that limits you. That's the thing that makes you go back into the old patterns. Healing is possible. And if you just improve for 5%, but you've never had any improvement in the last 2-3 years, it will reveal to you that healing is indeed possible. So any small step you can take to eliminate limiting beliefs and prove to you that, hey, I can do things I did not expect myself to be capable of doing, will be immensely helpful. And this might be the simplest possible action ever. But if each morning you have a certain behavior, like I wake up in the morning and the first thing is I grab my phone, not grabbing the phone in the morning changes you, even if it's just once, because you're interrupting a pattern. Look at your pattern and try to interrupt it through silence, and you'll see how amazingly much you can do to cure yourself.